No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together.
Hello, welcome to So Happy Together. My name is Kirby Lammers.
And I am Lisette Lammers. Welcome.
I've heard of you before.
You've heard of me before.
I've heard of you before.
We've been married 20 years today. April 1st.
Yeah,
April
happy
Fools.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary, honey. Mwah.
Yeah, that was an early moi.
It
we
was
do
an
at the end
early
of the
moi.
show.
We
That's
usually
right.
do that at the end. But yeah.
Anyway, so our first show we recorded, it was the first day we met.
Right, 21 years ago.
That's right, and that was back on
March the 3rd.
March 3rd.
All right.
That's right. So
So-
here we are, April 1st. And we're doing this extra, and our shows are going to be weekly, by the way. So we're going to catch up. Due to the COVID-19, the coronavirus, we had to put off our shows just a little bit, but we're back on track. And so we're going to be putting out these shows on a weekly basis.
There
Sure.
we go, honey.
But anyway, happy anniversary. So
Thank you.
first day we met, and then our anniversary. It's just working
know,
out
it's
so
just-
good. And we're still so happy
Happy
together.
That's right.
It's amazing.
Because we've used a lot of our golden nuggets.
Oh, I know it. I know. But anyway, so Lisette, what do you have to say to our viewers?
I just want to say, we are in a tough situation. It's a worldwide pandemic. Nobody could foresee this, and it's ongoing. It's just been so difficult financially, emotionally. It's all the things. But if we wake up and we remember our blessings and still be thankful, because God doesn't want us to despair when the world events take on the turn of tragedies, when things turn very tragic.
So true.
It's so true, because God can turn your tragedies into triumphs, our poverty into riches, our pain into glory, and our defeat into victory. And when we do God's will, we will find that it's easier to be joyful and thankful. And I love that, because continue to pray and keep God first as we stay at home and we're together 24/7. I know it's not always easy. But if we do that, I believe that a family that prays together stays together. It's true. And one of my favorite passages, and you might have seen this one scrolling on Facebook, but it's a good one. It's the Joshua 1:9. When Joshua was leading the Israelites, Moses passed on, and he says, Joshua takes over, and he's going to lead the Israelites into that promised land. And God says, he says as that command, I command you to be courageous. He wants us to be courageous and strong, even in the difficulty. So Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous, and do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And he will walk with us. He will be with us. You just call on him, and he wants to take care of us. I promise you. Just stay strong and have faith.
So Lisette, should we be worrying about the situation we're in right now, this huge crisis?
Oh my goodness. Well, worry is the opposite of faith.
Yeah.
So we want to stay, there's many fear nots in the Bible. He doesn't want us to be fearful, because when you worry and you're fearful, that means, okay. And when you pray, it doesn't have to be these long, formal, lengthy prayers. You can just talk to God. It's really about a relationship, and just say, Lord, this is what's going on in my life. I cannot tell you how many times. We've all struggled financially or whatnot, and God will come and he will answer your prayers in an unexpected way. That's how he works.
That's right.
And that's what faith and trust in the Lord is because if we could do everything in our own strength, then we don't need him. I think that's a very important message, Kirby, because that really is what faith means. It's like, okay, he wants us to depend on him. He wants us to look to him. And that's what we've been doing. And do you know what? It's made me a stronger Christian every day, because I said, yep, I've seen you work. And he'll do it again. There is a song called Do It Again. Look it up. It's a great song. And he will do it again. And he'll do it again. So, yes, it's, it is nerve-wracking. I just got news that Neiman Marcus will be furloughing us. But you know what? I'm just going to take the world's pressures and push them out, and I'm going to keep the Holy Spirit inside of me.
Yeah. Well, many people don't realize that you are an employee of Neiman Marcus.
Okay, well, they do now, but
And
yes.
so yes, she'll be on furlough for a
furlough,
while.
probably.
But so are you. I understand. Many of your jobs are on hold. You don't understand if you'll even have a job to go to. At least right now, you know that you have one. However, there's many situations that are going on out there. And so we have a relationship show, and it's called So Happy Together.
Yep.
And so relationship, it is your relationship with God.
It is.
It is your relationship with your spouse. It is your relationship with your kids, your whole family.
Your community, your church, your co-workers.
All your friends.
That's right.
All your distant relatives.
That's right. We're all trying to stay connected.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry,
it is a relationship, but how we take those relationships and continue to be happy with our relationships.
Exactly.
And so happy together. Yeah, it's a lot about, about spouses or partners. And however, it is a relationship. And what is our relationship with God? First, we are second.
That's right.
All right.
And remember in our last show, I was talking about the fruits of the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
And gentleness. Did you know that you can communicate with gentleness? It's an action to communicate and promoting gentleness in your family, in your marriage, in your relationship.
Am I gentle?
You are. You're a gentle soul, my husband.
So that makes me a gentleman.
You're a gentle man. That's right. I guess I'm a gentle woman, right?
I guess. So,
But gentleness is love in action. It's being considerate. It's meeting the needs of others and allowing time for another person to talk. I guess I wasn't being gentle at that moment. Sorry, honey. Okay, I'll let you talk.
I've got all my ears on. I'm listening, honey.
And it's, it's really essential for both men and women to be gentle, learning when, it's time to let others talk. And I think that is really important.
Okay. Well, we're going through this coronavirus, COVID-19, and so just be sure to follow all the guidelines and wash those hands. Are you tired of washing your hands?
I know.
Anyway, but we wash our hands. I've always been a good hand washer.
Happy birthday twice.
That's right. But we wash constantly and wipe everything down. Just use some good old common sense. I know the people that are watching us, our viewers, are wonderful, smart people with high intelligence, and I know you're going to do well, and congratulations for doing such a great job. That's how it's going to end this virus so quick, by everybody doing what they're supposed to do. So be responsible. Great time to set the example for your children and all others. So even set the example for your neighbors, everybody. And social distancing.
Kirby, we're not 6 feet apart.
That new word. However, we're going through a ton of changes. Would you agree?
Yes.
Many changes in our lives. And changes like we've never been through before, all in my lifetime. And so, it's kind of, where's this all going and how's it going to work out? And we know nothing's ever going to be the same again. However, I'm always optimistic, and I feel things are going to actually be better. And in times of crisis, that is when it's the best time to create new opportunities.
New opportunities, that's right.
So choose this time, 24 hours a day together. Choose this time to create new opportunities. Measure where your life is going. Continue to have these goals, and you're going to see your life continue to pick up. I know we will all get past this together, and with the blessings of God, we definitely are.
We definitely are.
We're all in this together, right?
That's right. Well, Kirby, I understand that you have an acronym for change.
Well, yeah, speaking of change, and we're resistant. How fast do you change?
Ooh, you always say you have to lead me. I'm kind of like that horse. You got to lead the water. Like, here she is. Oh, well, go. Come on, Lisette, you can do it. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, we sound talk about change. You have to be a baby first.
I have to be a baby first.
Then I have to kind of bring her along.
Oh, my goodness. You're so good.
Until you become a big girl, right?
I know. One of those nuggets. I'm going back to one of those nuggets because it's patience. If your husband is patient, oh my goodness, and you are so patient, and I really, really appreciate that, Kurt. But anyway, go ahead.
But that is fine. But yes, I do have an acronym.
An acronym for change.
change.
Okay, so what is it? Since people are having to adapt and change right now.
Yeah, so when you use this acronym, by the way, it's going to make change easier, and you're not going to be so resistant to change. So the first letter is C in change. And what that C stands for is courage. It takes courage to change. There's so many people that are cowards. That's when you're resistant to change. It takes courage to step up. You know what? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get this done. So courage would be next. So what's the next letter, Lisette?
It's habit.
H.
H. C-H, that's right. H is habit. So in order to create change and have the courage to change, you've got to create new habits. And I know it takes 28 to 30 days to do it. But it's if you keep doing it and you have the courage to do it and say, okay, I'm gonna start, creating new habits. And if you can make it to the 30 days, you'll definitely instill a new habit in your life.
Yeah, so part of that habit is that when you resist change, you don't have a good habit in changing. So if you create the new habits,
Okay.
the good habits, there's bad
Right,
habits
everything
too.
good
I'm not
habits,
saying
that's
take
right.
old bad habits.
That's right.
If you develop great habits and you fill up that pipeline full of habits,
Okay.
those old habits will just kind of just go out the other end, and you never know it. If I say stop biting your nails, you probably will not. However, if you put enough great habits in there, you're going to look down and go, wow, I have nails. What happened?
Yeah, I
And
stopped biting them.
so create the habit of embracing change instead of the habit of resisting change.
There you go.
All right, so we have the C and we have the H.
H.
The next one is A, and that stands for attitude.
Oh.
Do you think you can change with a poor, sour attitude? I think it's going to be kind of tough. So you must approach your change with a great attitude. I know I can do this. This is going to happen. I can visualize how it's all going to be. I'm going to maintain a great attitude because I got the courage, I developed the habits, now I've got the attitude. So look out, world, here I come.
Woohoo.
What's the next letter?
Okay, the next letter is N, and that means now.
When?
Now.
Not tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. Oh, you mean I can't procrastinate?
Not the next day?
Oh,
Not next
man.
month? Not next year?
No. Right now. Because
Right
what's
now.
the better time to change than now? If you have the right attitude, you have the courage, you're ready to do it, and you want to develop those habits, let's do it now.
Sure, yeah. Because if we don't do it now, will it happen? Most likely
It
not.
won't.
Yeah. The G stands for greatness. Why would we want greatness? Well, because you've had the courage, you developed the right habits with the proper attitude, you've achieved greatness. And you can be going, yeah,
Yep.
I've got this, I did it,
this.
I did it. And so achieve greatness. What's the last
The
one?
last one is enthusiasm.
Which is the E.
Which is the E in change.
So how is it you have enthusiasm?
Because I've always had it.
Oh, I see.
But I don't know if I've always had it for change, but
Yeah.
but it does help because if you're excited and you see that end result and you know, like Kirby, you always say begin with the end in mind. What is that, a Stephen Covey?
Yes.
And so if you see that, like you were saying, okay, I don't want to bite my nails anymore. Ooh, look how long and beautiful they are. So you're going to get that result, and then you're going to
Exactly.
get excited, and you have lots of enthusiasm, which is going to propel and drive you into that.
Right. And that enthusiasm spreads. It'll spread throughout the world, and other people will know that they can change because you had the guts and the courage, everything could
That's right,
change,
to
okay?
change.
So anyway, just step up to the plate, develop the courage. I got the courage, the habits, the attitude. I did it now.
Yeah.
I achieved greatness,
Greatness.
and I'm going to set the example and spread the enthusiasm throughout the entire world because you all can change.
That's right.
So, you like my acronym?
I like your acronym.
Okay.
Well, let's give them an example in our marriage of how we utilize change.
Well, yeah, but you know, they're going through changes. Wouldn't you feel like, I mean, we're going through changes. Our listeners are going through changes.
Changes, yep.
And so, do you feel like the walls might be closing in on you? Are you around people 24 hours a day? That is a change.
That is a change.
Are people getting on your nerves?
Getting on your nerves.
Do you have screaming kids that you just like to where's the basement? Is
We don't have
what are
basements
all
in
the things
Texas.
that are going on in your life that you've had to change? You're having to work from home. You can't go anywhere.
Right.
We just can't go out to eat like we used to. We're having to maybe order, take out or go get the
Right.
food.
Go get the food.
The way we go to the grocery stores, even, and many of us are wearing masks and gloves.
We
And
wore gloves the other day to the grocery
right,
store.
we don't just get in the car and go someplace because we want to. It's getting tougher to go to the movie theaters and to entertain ourselves and or go out and hear a band. All my musician buddies are out of work right now. And so, and I'm having changes. I'm having to coach by phone versus going to my clients.
That's right.
And observing their environments and how things are. And so there's many changes. We can go on to the cows come home.
I know it.
But there are many, many, many changes.
I remember when we were first married, and when I met you, you weighed 175.
Mm-hmm.
And after our honeymoon, and you gained 10 pounds on our honeymoon.
Oh, I
honey.
did. We had
Woo!
pizza every day,
Oh, I know.
several times a day.
Oh, this is in the days when we weren't eating healthy. And
Bad habits.
bad habits. And we've changed a lot over the years
We
on that,
have.
haven't we? Anyway, and Kirby, you ballooned up to almost 200 pounds.
I did. I
mean,
was
you
a lot
did.
bigger guy.
And your
I'm half the
doctor-
man I used to be.
That's right. You weigh 160, and he nails it. Let me tell you, he doesn't veer off of that. But I don't know. Your doctor had warned you about diabetes, and you were eating lunch out every day at work, and just
Well,
you know.
I was at that time. I was a general manager,
were general
and
manager at
I
Jones
was so focused on my work that I'd forget to eat.
You
And so
forget
my
to
employees would
eat,
just bring me food. What did they bring me? Fast food.
Fast food.
And so before long, I just kept getting larger and larger and larger.
I know.
And then I just didn't have any brain function. I would drive up in the driveway.
And we tried different diets where you would eat like the can of tuna and the dried fruit. And then I would
worse.
come home from work and you'd sit on the deck because you'd mowed the lawn. But Kirby, it scared me because you didn't know your name. You didn't know who you were. And I'm like, there's something wrong here. And then when your doctor diagnosed you with diabetes, but thank God he sent you to this little seminar that the Memorial Hermann had that teaches you how to eat.
Nutritional seminar.
So he comes home with his folder of information. Of course, I have to cry first, so I cried for 10 minutes.
You had to
I
be a
did.
baby first.
I had to be a baby first. And I said, okay, we're going to tackle this. We're going to make a change, and we're going to have a new attitude, and we're going to do it now, and we're going to achieve greatness and with enthusiasm, and we're going to do this. So I got diabetic cookbooks, and I did it with him. Another thing that's
That
key
helps
in
so much.
marriage,
Thank you.
when you can do it with your partner. If your partner's down, you always want to lift the other one up. You know, like Dr. Phil always says, does your spouse have a safe place to fall? Well, diabetes is very serious, and Kirby's
is.
like, I don't want to be on meds. I want to take care of this myself through diet and exercise. And to this day, you do not have diabetes, and you did conquer it. And we changed our eating habits. And actually, that was the beginning for us to be on a path for more of a healthy lifestyle. I mean, one day I'll tell you about mine when, as things evolved as I approached the age of 50 and things changed for me. I'll give you my testimony. Menopause.
Okay.
We're going to do a whole show on that.
Yes, we are.
Because it's scary.
It's scary.
It's bad. Men have to be really patient. But anyway, so we're just giving you an example of how,
It is.
and it was something very serious in our marriage, and Kirby and I decided to tackle it because, we wanted to be healthy, and I wanted to do it with him, and we learned how to do that.
Yeah. Well, when I tackle something, I tackle it, and I told my doctor, I had full-blown diabetes, and I said, I'm reversing this. And he said, well, you'll be my first patient to ever do this.
You did do
And
it.
you know what? I reversed it, and now I've kept the weight off for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have developed, with the proper habits, the best eating habits, and I stay true to
And you
it.
stay true to it. You exercise. You did your 30 minutes a day, because what happens with diabetes is the sugar stays in the cells, and if it builds up too much sugar, then your blood glucose goes up. So you have to burn that sugar off. That's why they're like, okay, you can only eat so many carbs per meal, and you have to snack and keep that blood sugar going. And then, so you, even when it was freezing outside, you
24
bundled up.
degrees.
You look like the Michelin Man. There he goes. And you went out there. You were dedicated. You were committed. I was like, gosh, he is so good.
It's a habit, and
it's
I walk.
exercising. I hate exercising. but I'll eat right and I'll do everything else. I try. But you were amazing, honey. You did really good.
Well, that's how I started developing my acronym About Change,
Change.
because I knew I was going through a huge change in my life. And since we're all going through these changes in our life, every single one of us, 100% of us, globally, I thought it'd be a great time to discuss this acronym. And make these changes easier. And so
I know we're like, okay, we're having to minimize our use of paper products. I mean, 3 squares used to mean like 3 meals a day, but I'm thinking it means 3 squares of little toilet paper.
oh no, you actually brought out the toilet paper. That's real toilet paper.
It's real.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, when you're called for your morning constitution, you're going to use some more, but
no, that's all you're limited to.
No, limited to. I'm like, okay, honey, how much toilet paper do we have left? 3 squares don't mean the same thing anymore. This is
Boy, that's a big change.
That's a big change. I know it.
We are more conscious
We
about
are more conscious
the
about
toilet paper and the paper
towels
towels
and the napkins, because we keep going to H-E-B. Well, I try not to because I spend too much money, but I'm like, okay, we look down the aisles. Nope. Still don't have anything, but anyway,
we're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay, but we didn't overstock like some people did.
I know,
However,
but you probably do have that change. You know, you've changed your workspace. Because you're working from home. You're having to make sure your kids are homeschooled. But on the positive side, if you're cooking meals, you get to be with your family at the table. Not so much technology. You can do your gardening. You can go cycling. You can be together, be creative.
Go for a walk. Be creative. Be creative. You know what? I know if your kids are kind of getting on your nerves and whatever, give them a project. My brother and I, our best toy was a cardboard box.
Really?
And I tell you what, we would make a car out of it. We would take smaller boxes and make helmets and then have a war. Okay. And we were making forts out of cardboard boxes.
I can see you boys.
There are just so many things that you can do, but just give it to them and say, be creative, surprise me. And you'd be surprised what they will come up with, but that's so healthy for their brain function, and it gets into that creative side. And guess what? It gives them something to do where they're not in your face all the time or fighting with each other like my brother did. I did often. However,
you have a good brother.
It's something that we can do as a family too, is have our creative time. Let's come up with something and put somebody in charge of who is the chairman of creative.
Oh, there you go.
See, and go, it's your job, and we're going to follow what you are. Who is the chairman of fun? Who's in charge of fun? All right, you want to be in charge of fun? All right, we're going to do whatever you say.
That's
and
right.
You have different chairmans of whatever you want.
I'm the chairman.
However, this time, like I said, it's an opportunity right now. The greatest opportunities are during a crisis.
There you go.
So spending 24 hours a day is like I get to know you again,
We're
period.
reinventing ourselves.
Become a closer family unit. It's just, I want you to build up your family and not tear down your family, because it's easy to do. With all the pressures that we're all going through, and these kids feel your pressures too. And so what do we do to continue to build this family unit, kind of take these pressures off, just turn it over to God? That's the number one way.
Right.
Just turn it over. And how are we going to have fun? How are we going to get this to go through this together in the absolute best way, where we come out the other end just smelling like roses?
That's right.
So we've got to continue to do that.
I think that we're a great nation, and I think that people are going to pull together, and there will be a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's hope out there, and I think that we're going to get through it, and our country's going to bounce right back once we all get back to work, and we're trying to keep everything going, and staying healthy and strong and positive attitude, and just be in an attitude of gratitude and thankfulness. Every morning I wake up and I say, thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for your son. Thank you for all my blessings.
And we've been spoiled for a long time.
Long time. Yeah.
We just get in the car, don't even think about
Don't
it.
even think about
we
it.
go here and we
The
go
gas
there and all
prices
that.
are low now. We're not spending any money. There's no traffic. Oh my gosh, Houston traffic, to not have to deal with that every day.
Right.
So it's a different perspective, but still.
So we're going through many changes physically and mentally. So we need to measure our physical health and our mental health,
Oh, that's
and make sure that that comes together, where they're congruent together, they're strong both ways, our mental and physical health,
There you
because it's going to be important. Don't just let yourself go. I know it's easy to sit around and eat ice cream and cookies all day.
Ooh, I miss that.
However, that's going to be one of those habits that's not going to work out
Oh,
for
boy,
you.
have I changed my habits of that.
So, Dr. Phil will be saying, how's that working
How's
for
that
you?
working for you?
And so, probably not very well. So, that's why it's so important to develop those really good, great habits.
There you
Really,
go.
really good habits. And so, anyway, divide up the responsibilities, your chairmans, come together, change. Just change the way you do things. You need to be better, change. You'll make your family more dynamic, change.
There you go.
You want to increase your relationship with God, change. Develop the morning devotionals, get the whole family involved. Before you go to bed at night, another devotional. It adds peace, you calm down. It's another form of a meditation.
It really is.
It's very soothing, would you agree?
I would agree.
Okay, what else can we do?
Oh my goodness, let's see. I think we've
Communicate.
communicated. Oh, you're the
I
great
was waiting
communicator.
for it.
You were waiting for me to say communicate. Sorry, Kirby.
So communication, and so it's how we communicate, and it is our body language, it is our eye contact, it is how we say things, it is
The tone.
the tonality,
Tea.
which is so important. It's everything that we have, and so speak from just who you are. Don't pretend to be anybody else. Gentleness, we talked about
We talked
that.
about gentleness.
We're a family.
listening.
Social distancing,
At
that's
the other
our family. We're just
Right.
going to touch it. Anyway, so, but this is the time to come together, not push each other the way. Either we're pushing people away or pulling them in. I discussed that on the last show. So be sure to come together and communicate well. If something's on your mind or bothering you, it's very, very simple. Lisette, I'm really bothered about something, and I'd like for us to work through that together. Would that be okay?
Of course.
All right, this is what I have going on, and I discussed whatever the issue is, and going, I'm just thinking maybe I need to do this. What do you think? Is there something that you can add? All right, how am I going to hold myself accountable for this? Another change.
Yeah.
And so, how are we going to get through these issues? And it goes
And
both
just-
directions.
That's right. And just being willing to be transparent, just being
Yes.
willing to really speak your truth to your spouse or your child or, your friend, or you need somebody to talk to. That goes a long way, because then they're going to value that and say, whoa, they're really opening up to me. And they really, that's the truth in the marriage, when you really open up to your spouse and say, hey, they really want to know what's going on with you, especially now that we're all 24/7.
Right. So anyway, Lisette, what's your message to our audience here?
I want to end today with Proverbs 3:5, which is my favorite, which has gotten me through a lot of tough times. So trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
Yes.
In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Because I like what you said the other day, Kirby. God knows what we don't understand, and we're not going to understand everything. He's the Almighty. He created everything. So we're not going to understand. So we just must trust in him. So God bless. And
Yeah. So the actions that you start today will be your success for tomorrow.
there you go.
And I don't want you to remember that. Embrace change. Begin your actions now.
Now.
All right?
Okay.
So that was a beautiful, beautiful word. So, how do you contact us?
Yes, how do
And
they
you're our
contact-
audience. We want you to reach out to us. It's at happy
Happy.
at KirbyLammers.com, and you see it here at the bottom of the screen. Happy at KirbyLammers.com. We want to hear from you. without you, our show is nothing. Those
That's
are the
right.
use of doing that.
That's
And
right.
this is
We
to
do
go
it.
out, heal, soothe, help in these times of crisis.
Crisis.
And so we're just reaching out to you. We're no better than you are. We're just passing on some successes that we've had throughout our relationship. We love you very much. God loves you very much. And so please stay tuned to each show. It's going to be a weekly show. We'll be sending them out on a regular basis. And stay tuned. Go to our YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe also
That's
so
right.
you know when our new show has hit the air. All right?
Okay.
So like we always say,
Say.
and by the way, we love you very much and happy anniversary.
Thank you. Happy
And
anniversary, honey.
Thank you for viewing and mwah!